morning, everyone, and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. I'll never get tired saying that, and today you're going to see why, as we're here for one of, I think, the most significant press conferences and announcements of our nearly 11-year term here. This is a project that we literally started talking about in 2006, even before taking office, when the prior owners of the site approached us and said, in case you win the race for mayor, we have this property, we want to talk to you about it. And the first thing I did was correct them and say, what do you mean in case I win for mayor? So we did win. We did start right away with this parcel, about a 25-acre site of what at the time was probably one of the most contaminated sites in all of Woodbridge Township. There was nothing to be proud of with the General Dynamics site, absolutely nothing. It was an old abandoned plant. It had been vacant for 25 plus years. It looked awful. Everybody who drove by on the train looked out and saw that's their vision of Woodbridge Township. That's their vision of Avenel, was this lousy looking abandoned chemical plant. And it was just a terrible, terrible place. We went through a process of about a dozen public meetings in 2007 and 2008, talking to residents about what we wanted to do here. We had the vision of it being housing. Thanks to Carolyn Ehrlich, we had the vision of it being an arts village, and that's what it became. There really were four options that we could have done back then. We could have done an office building, but that didn't make a lot of sense. They had neighbors right there in a 10-story office building with lit up all night and looking in their backyards. It would not have been a good use. Plus, it wouldn't have involved a great cleanup because the land would have been capped and the contamination would have stayed here forever. It could have been retail, and then the traffic would have been a nightmare all hours of the day and night into the weekends and weekend nights. It wasn't conducive for a neighborhood look. Or it could have been industrial, a warehouse use, and that would have been trucks and traffic in and out all hours of the night. All those uses would have involved the cap and would not have required the massive cleanup that was undertaken here to get rid of the contaminants that were in the ground. So we decided on residential for a lot of reasons. The main reason which was the cleanup, because when it's residential, the property has to be cleaned to a higher standard. Now, all over the neighborhood, there's wells, there's measuring stations about the underwater groundwater that's somewhat still contaminated. People know we're literally impacted directly by it because they have wells on their property. We wanted to get rid of them, and in the long run, we will. It'll take some time although all the dirt's been taken off site, it'll take some time for that to work its way through the system. But at the end of the day, this will be a 100% cleaned up site, and people won't have those wells all over their properties, and they'll completely forget, if they haven't already, that this used to be an abandoned chemical plant. So this took a lot of work for us to meet with residents. People don't like change. You look now and you say, how could people be against this? Well, they were. Not because they feared this, but they feared anything. They feared change. They feared something happening in their neighborhood. They weren't sure what would happen, but they didn't want change. And we had a heck of a time convincing them. Many public meetings at Avenel School 4 and 5, many meetings at Avenel Middle School. Ultimately, the prior owners could not get this project done, so we went out with an RFP, RFQ, whatever you want to call it, to solicit interest from the development community. Atlantic Realty and the Halpern family answered that request for proposals, and we were only too happy to work with them. They have a fantastic reputation in town. They own apartment complexes all over Woodbridge Township, all over Middlesex County, and at surrounding counties. They're a fantastic business. We're very, very proud that they call Woodbridge home. We really got to see them in action in 2012 when the fire hit the Woodbridge Village Apartments, which they own. These owners, these people cared so much about their residents and the work that they did to make sure each and every one of them got another apartment somewhere in one of their complexes as the site was rebuilt, and then moved back in if they wanted to. Just the compassion they showed for their residents at that time. If we didn't already think that the Halperns were fantastic business people and compassionate people, we got to see that then firsthand. And we really knew we made the right decision in choosing to work with Atlantic Realty and the Halperns. But of course, in 08, the market had gone bad, and it was a very difficult time, so not much happened here because nobody... Please turn off all cell phones. Sorry about that. I always turn it off. Where was I? Where was I? 2008, yeah. So the market was bad. So for a long time, nothing happened. The Halperns had to negotiate with the former owners. They had to negotiate with General Dynamics and Security Steel and the companies that were responsible for the contamination. So it actually took a while. When the market turned around, they were ready. They hit the ground hard running, and they started putting these buildings up. And what you see behind us is just a fantastic development that we're very, very proud of. More buildings to come. A total of 500 units will be built here, including 10% will be affordable housing units. It's just an amazing, amazing development that we're thrilled with. I'd like to now call up the guy we work with every day, Alan Shaw from Halpern Realty. He's just a pleasure to deal with. This is a guy who asks a lot of us, and we ask a lot of him, and we work everything out. He's just a great businessman, but this is his project. This is his biggest project he's ever done, and he has done a wonderful job of making it all come together, from the very most minute detail to the large issues that we faced. And I just want to thank him for his cooperation, friendship, just for being a guy who cares about the town, cares about his family business, and he's just been wonderful to deal with. I'd now like to ask Alan Shaw to say a few words.
Thank you. That's some introduction. Thank you, Mayor McCormick. On behalf of my entire family and the company, I'd like to take this opportunity to officially welcome everyone to Station Village, our newest luxury apartment rental complex. We couldn't be prouder, and it's wonderful to see so many of you here today. I'd like to, it's truly been a pleasure and an honor to build this project and work hand in hand with both Woodbridge Township and with New Jersey Transit. I'd like to again acknowledge the mayor, Carolyn Ehrlich, Marta Levsky, the entire engineering and building departments, the town council, especially Corey Spiller, who some days I think has a job here. He's here so often, but always has a wonderful smile on his face and is so proud of what's gone on here. And Corey, we appreciate all you've done for us here, and it's really been an amazing transformation. But I'd really like to thank almost each and every employee of the township, from the planning department to the police, the parks, everyone in between. Everyone's been cooperative and supportive, and like you heard from the mayor, everyone's so proud that this is what happened here. It wasn't pretty when we started, but I'm pretty proud of what it looks like today. Again, I'd like to applaud the mayor and Carolyn for their passion and dedication to each and every facet of this project, whether it was the train station or the new art center. They've really been intimately involved with almost every single detail. They really had the vision and the dream to transform this site, which, as you heard, housed an abandoned, dilapidated factory, and now we've got a vibrant transit village centered around the arts and the culture. The anchor of this project is a over 13,000 square foot Avenel Art Center, which will bring entertainment, joy, and inspiration to the local residents and to the broader community. Today I'm proud to announce that construction of the Art Center is scheduled to begin before the end of this year, so it is actually happening, and happening quickly. The train station is the other cornerstone of this project. With direct access to New Jersey Transit's North Jersey coastline, residents can either be in New York City or down on the Jersey Shore in under 45 minutes, and that's really incredible. I'd like to acknowledge the representatives of New Jersey Transit who are here with us today, whom we worked with to create this convenient connection to the station, which we'll see shortly. There's a new seating plaza where residents can comfortably wait for the train, and New Jersey Transit has done a wonderful job sprucing up the platforms in anticipation for increased ridership. And I'd like to thank New Jersey Transit for their renewed attention to this station. It's very important to this project. We do anticipate increased ridership at this station and hope that more frequent stops will be warranted in the very, very near future. I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank our construction team, all the contractors who are here each and every day. It's nice and calm here right now, but you should have seen how many people were feverishly working to make sure this place looked even better than it normally does. This is an active construction site, and it's spotless. So, guys, thank you so much for everything that you do. There are some members here of the professional team who helped us get approvals. I want to acknowledge you guys. Thank you very much. Amazing planning, lawyers, engineers, architects, etc. And then to my fellow partners who are here, thank you for your support, for your trust, and for your guidance each and every day. So again, welcome to Station Village, the newest and finest transit community. We hope you like what you see. And please, we're going to take you on a quick tour afterwards when we're done here, and then we're going to walk down to the train station and show off the wonderful community. So again, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for your support. It's great.
Thanks, Alan. We don't like what we see, we love what we see. Now I'd like to introduce the lady who's in charge of our Woodbridge Redevelopment Agency, who just scolded me because I said so much about the project I left her nothing to say. But since 2006, Carol Ehrlich has been so passionate about this project and so unbelievably into it. As I said before, she's the one who came up with the theory of an arts village. That really helped us sell this project. Downtowns work when arts are a part of them, and arts are going to be the central theme of downtown Avenel. I'm convinced that you're going to see people all up and down Avenel Street and up and down Rahway Avenue start buying up old businesses and turn them into something better. We've already seen Avenel Pharmacy invest a lot of money in his store. We've seen the corner of Rahway Avenue and Avenel Street get developed. You're going to see more of that because of the theater that's going to be here. It's going to be a 200-plus seat theater with a full bar restaurant. It's going to be amazing, and the kind of performances that are already being booked, and I'll talk about that in a minute after Carol's done, but we're already starting to book some really solid plays and other things for the theater for when it opens next fall. But it was Carol Ehrlich's vision to make it an arts village, and we had support from the arts community all throughout Woodbridge Township as we put this thing through the various tests and had our various different meetings with the public. The arts community was always out there raising their hand and saying they supported this and saying they were in favor of it. It really helped us sell it to the residents of Avenel and to Woodbridge Township. It was Carol's vision. I think she's been out here once a week for the last couple of years, working with the family here, with Alan, with Dave Schember, who's a fantastic project manager, by the way. We couldn't ask for somebody better to work with us day to day. Every time something comes up, you can ask Corey or anybody here that Dave just says, I'll do it, we'll take care of it, and it gets done. But back to Carol. She is the head of our redevelopment agency, and I want to thank her tremendously for her vision and her passion and her leadership in getting this project done. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Ehrlich.
Thank you, Mayor. Today is a great day, and I really am passionate about this project, and this is a testament to the fact that when a whole community comes together, you can make dreams and a vision come true. I am so happy that the developer that stepped forward was Atlantic Realty, because they have been part of our community and our family going back generations and generations. And they gave this project to the next generation of the Halpern family, to Alan. And Alan put that touch on it, a very new Halpern touch, making this a luxury village. And I think, except for Secaucus, it's probably unlike anything else that they've done in Woodbridge. He would go through each apartment and drive Dave Schember crazy, because he would go, and the architects and all the professionals, nah, that's just not perfect, and make them change it. And what happened at the end of the day with it's now a perfect place to live. It is truly a community. Part of the dream and the vision was to create a place for the people, not just who live here, but in all of Avenel. They needed a downtown, they needed a place to call their own, and this is going to be that place. A year from now, everybody who lives down those blocks and over here will be able to walk here and see a show, go to the coffee shop, have a great time, get together with their neighbors and the family. And that's what Avenel Station Lofts and the Avenel Art Center is going to be all about. So thank you, everyone who is involved with this.
Thanks, Carolyn. Corey Spiller lives 5 houses down that way, and when we started this project, I knew Corey a little bit, but I got to know him more and more. And as the father of 3 kids, I thought, if we can convince Corey that this project is the right thing for the people of Avenel, then we can convince anybody, because, like I said, he lives here. He works for the Avenel Fire Prevention Bureau. His wife works in the school system outside of town. He's a great family guy, and he was involved every step of the way, coming to every single meeting. And when he got on board, he helped us convince other people to get on board, and he's been a tremendous ally. And I think this actually kind of launched his political career, because once there was an opening, when our former councilwoman from Avenel 3rd Ward moved out to Pittsburgh, the first person I thought of to replace her was Corey Spiller, because he became such a leader, such an advocate, such an obvious choice to be the next councilman because of his advocacy for this project and for the residents of Avenel, that he joined the council and has been a fantastic councilman ever since. And he's also a conscience, because if something goes wrong here, Corey lives right there and we'll know it, and the residents won't like it, and Corey will take care of it. So he's been an outstanding advocate for the project, and I'd like to ask Corey Spiller now to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. Before I say anything, I just want to thank my wife and my children. Without my family's continued support, I wouldn't be able to continually do stuff like this. As the Mayor Carolyn said, you could see my house from here, and I am so excited. We are so excited about this project. I've lived here my entire life. I'm fortunate that I'm the fire official for Avenel, so I get to drive by this property probably 20 times a day. I can't tell you what it looked like 10 years ago, and now I find myself coming here just because I want to walk around, because it's beautiful. I want to thank the mayor, Carol Redevelopment, the entire administration. Alan, your team, Dave, you have been incredible. It's just, you know, you get kind of emotional because when you've seen what this has been for so long and now you see what it is and you see just the joy out of it. 10 years ago, we couldn't walk this property. There was a park there. We couldn't even go to the park. And it's just not this project. Alan and his team also helped with the mural. They also helped with LeGrand Park, which is beautiful. So it just, it's an outreach of support. So once again, super excited over this. Once the theater and everything else is developed, we're going to be able to just walk right through the park, grab a coffee, sit down, relax, listen to some great music, catch some great shows. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody that's involved. Thank you.
We also want to thank the residents of Avenel in general, especially the residents around here who were supportive of this project and continue to be. I talked to a realtor a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that in general, Woodbridge Township property prices have been up about 2% in the past year, but Avenel prices are up 4%. And that's what we've been saying all along, that it's not just about what the property tax bill you pay is, it's more about the property values, because $50 or $100 in a bill is nothing compared to a $10,000 increase in your property values. And that's what's happening in Avenel for all the houses around here. It's been very, very positive. I'd like to introduce some of the people behind us who are not speakers. From NJ Transit, John Leone's the Director of Government Relations, and Tom Clark from the Government Relations Office. They'll be speaking at the next stop. But gentlemen, thank you for being here. The other half of our great developmental team, the head of our division of planning, or Department of Planning, is Marta Lefsky. Marta, thank you very much. And you, as Alan said, and everybody else said, that the planning department, you know, when Alan and David need an inspection, they need a permit, whatever they need, they go to the top of the list and things get done, thanks to Marta. We also have from our town council, our 1st Ward Councilwoman, Nancy Drum, and our 5th Ward Councilwoman, Debbie Meehan. And of course, David Halpern, another guy who I've known for a long, long time, but we really have gotten to know each other much better lately as a result of this project. As Carol said, he had the good sense to put his son-in-law in charge of it, and it's worked out tremendously. Also in the audience, we have a couple of people I'd like to introduce. We have Hank Heidacker, who's the head of our redevelopment agency, and he's a citizen who lives in Avenel. Rich Lorenzen, our tax collector. Vito Simuluk, our recreation director. Casey Wagner from the mayor's office. Anthony Wilkinson, a 3-time Emmy winner who is going to be the executive and artistic director of the theater when it's built. And he's the one already going all over the country and finding acts and finding shows. Literally next November, we're going to have, in the next month or two, some acts booked for a building that's not even started yet. So we better get it done, because a whole bunch of actors are going to show up and look for a place to put on a play, and it better be finished. We also have an interesting resident, Alan Google. There he is with the, what's that say? Is that a, what branch of the military? Navy, okay. He's got a Navy hat on. He is a former resident of Avenel who used to live here and walk to school 4 and 5 up the street. His father worked in General Dynamics when it was here, you know, running. His son, Andrew, over there with the Columbia shirt, is a student who rented one of the very first apartments here because he commutes to Columbia in New York City and he wanted a place close by. You're like the perfect tenant that you're the guy we were looking for, you know, a student who's commuting to New York to go to school and living here in Avenel, and who knows, maybe you're going to like it here a lot and stay and get a house and when you raise a family with the white picket fence and all that. That's what we wanted. You're perfect. So let's hear for Alan Google and Andrew Google, and thank you for being here. We are now at the Avenel train station, which is the linchpin of this development. I'm not quite sure if the apartments are going to be successful because of the train. I think it's more likely that the train is going to be more successful because of the apartments. This, as we said before, this development is right on the Avenel train station. These days, everything happening in development all throughout New Jersey all seems to be centered around train stations. Everybody's building luxury apartments within walking distance of train stations. Everybody's building parking decks near train stations, and so are we. We're doing a whole lot of that downtown. Nothing really to report yet or announce yet, but today's all about Avenel and this train station and the work that's been done to it and the work that will be done to it. So I'd first like to call up John Leone, the Senior Director of Governmental Relations for New Jersey Transit, and ask him to say a few words about this project and this train station. John?
Good morning, and thank you very much. I took the opportunity to pick up one of the mugs, Station Village, very nicely named. As the mayor mentioned, my name is John Leone. I'm Senior Director of Government Community Relations for New Jersey Transit, and on behalf of our Executive Director, Steve Santoro, I want to thank you all for making this opportunity possible. There's an old adage that says, build it and they will come, and I think that's going to happen here very much. Transit-oriented development is key to the future of our city and our transit operations. By making facilities and residential units built in close proximity to stations, it does a number of things. It's an economic driver for the region. It helps to drive up use of transit, takes people off the roads. So it's a general benefit to all that are involved. I'd like to thank Mayor McCormick for his leadership, making sure that all this was made possible, and Alan Schall, absolutely. And Alan Schall of Atlantic Realty, who had, they had the faith and the perseverance to make this project possible. This station currently provides service to about 220 people, which is not many. This development will drive that ridership up significantly, we expect. So I think, as I said, it's a symbiotic relationship. I think everyone benefits, the town will benefit, transit will benefit, and the region will benefit. And hopefully everyone here who lives at this residential unit, which, by the way, is beautifully accommodated, just had a quick tour, are going to be very much impressed by the level of service we provide and by the amenities that we provide as an organization. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of New Jersey Transit, and thank you all very much for coming, and I'll turn it back to the mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Very early, Alan Schall recognized the asset that this train station was, and very early he started investing company money in its upgrade before even transit got involved, because, again, he knew that this would be the attraction to get people to come, especially when you start talking about the theater and the restaurant and the retail space. Just the fact that anybody from down south, up north, west, east can hop on a train and get here to go to a play and be home, you know, within a half an hour. That's just an amazing selling point that's going to ensure the success of that theater and the entire retail operation. So I want to thank Alan Schall for his interest and his investment here, and ask him to say a few words.
Thank you again, everyone. Welcome to the wonderfully renovated Avenel train station. We're putting Avenel back on the map, both from the development and certainly from the train station. It was a pleasure dealing with New Jersey Transit. They understood that adding more units here will add ridership, and it's certainly like they said, works both ways. We're going to, by having more train stops, more people will live here, and et cetera, will work the other way. So again, hopefully you can walk up on the station, see the work that they did. It was resurfaced. We got beautiful new enclosures, new lighting, and it's safe and wonderful and beautiful. People can sit here every morning. In fact, as I come to work, I see people here waiting, reading the newspaper, and about to get on the train. So like they said, you build it, it will come. This has been phenomenal. If you look around, who would have thought we could build such a beautiful, beautiful place so quickly and in such a great neighborhood? Thank you all for coming. Thank you, New Jersey Transit.
Thanks, Alan. And very early on, Councilman Corey Spiller also recognized the importance of this station and kept on us. What are we going to do about the train? We got to get improved. We got to add stops. We got to talk to transit. We got to get things done. So he's been a terrific advocate for the residents of Avenel and all of Woodbridge Township. And I'd like to ask Corey to say a few words.
Good morning. What a great day to be in Avenel. Let me tell you, this is just, you know, as I mentioned before, you get emotional when you've been here so long, and now you see what is here. My wife and I are going to be able to wake up, walk out, go to the train, go to New York City, and shortly over a year, come back, catch a show, catch a drink or two, and it's absolutely beautiful. So the one question I get the most when people ask me, I want to move to Station Village, I live in Avenel, are we getting more trains and more stops? And it's phenomenal what's happening in this area. So I want to thank everyone involved. Thank you so much.
And the one more thing I want to mention is we actually got a grant from the state to offer shuttles to and from the train stations in town. We decided to do it in Avenel. It turns out the grant requirements were onerous. We didn't accept the grant, but we like the idea so much that we are putting our senior busing units, the buses in operation in the morning when they're not needed for the seniors, and late in the afternoon when they're not needed for the seniors. And they're going to take people from the Avenel Knights of Columbus and Rahway Avenue and shuttle them to and from the train station here. That's actually very close to a whole bunch of Halpern-owned apartments, go figure. Like I said before, they own almost everything in Woodbridge Township, but they have Forest View and Evergreen apartments and the ones up on Essex Avenue where the people can leave their apartments, go to the shuttle, and get the shuttle up to the train station. Corey's been working on that. He's actually a member of the Avenel Knights and put us together with them, and we were about to sign an agreement to make that happen, you know, without the money we get from the feds, because it just is such an important idea and a good idea that we're doing without it. So I want to thank Corey for that part of this arrangement too. So thank you all for coming out. I think we're welcome back into the amenities building to have some donuts and juice and whatever, coffee, and I hope we get film of that. It's an absolutely gorgeous building. I can see why these apartments are renting as fast as they are, because all somebody's got to do is come in here, meet the leasing agents, sit down and talk, and they walk out with a beautiful apartment. It's wonderful. So thank you all for watching. This has been an amazing. Oops, what I forget.
Do you want to invite everybody up to?
Oh yeah, we're going up there. That's right. We're going up there to look at the actual train station. See, that's why Carol's here.
We're going to cut the ribbon.
We're going to cut the ribbon up there. That's right. Thank you.